Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth round as we head to a track that has only been added in this year's calendar. Unfortunately, in the real F1, the F1 but we are at the Dutch Grand Prix because this is esports and the virtual world. We have the capability to drive around such a glorious track. Now, if you weren't here in China got a bit spicy with the last couple of laps ending up with rain, which led to some brilliant strategies, seeing Ewan and Logic coming up clutch when they were near the back of the grid. Ewan put himself onto the board now with 25 points for the win, but Pancake still holding that lead, only by 4 points in front of Logic. This has left the constructors in such a mess with a couple of position changes. Brutal Democracy Gaming still ahead with 81 points of BRL Racing League with 63 points. And if we look now the midsection, we can see Shazoo has overtaken Vortex and ERL has overtaken Bossman. Very critical moves in this mid-sector as this is so tight with just about 20 points within fourth and below. Heading over to the track, as I said, this is a beautiful track and a track full of corners. 2 DRS zones, one very short, which will be the first one you'll approach, and then the second one is down the start-finish straight. 14 corners in this track. Let's head over to Miles to tell us what it's about.
So we're back for another hot lap. Today we're on board with VRT Oxys, who provided this lap. It's around the Zandvoort circuit, so we're in the Netherlands, a new addition to the track. And let's see how we can do. So coming around the final real corner. Now for this very unique bank corner, you want to maximize your speed through there, opening up the DRS, coming up to the line, and about 60 meters is where you want to brake for the first corner. So going down to third gear is Oxtes, clipping the apex on the left hand side and doing it again on the left hand side as well and clipping it on the right hand side. Quickly going down to the second gear, just for the extra rotation, tricky traction zone for everyone. Now for this next part it's completely flat out until you come to this very long right-hander, which is coming up right now. Going down to 6th gear just to stabilize your car a bit more. Up to 7th, down to 6th for this next right-hander. And yeah, going down to 3rd gear for this next right-hander. Now up to 4th, not as far to the right as you would think you would go. Quickly down to 3rd, up to 4th once again. Now opening up the DRS for a quick breather. Now this next right-hander you want to tackle, but not as much as Oxtes did there, so he lost a bit of time. Through this left-hander in 3rd gear, now coming up to the last corner, last rear corner, down to 5th gear, now maximizing your speed through this banked corner, which is very unique for Zandvoort. Now up to the line, and that's a lap around Zandvoort. So,
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SRC. As mentioned, is round 4 as we are heading in Holland. Today it's going to be commentated by myself and Miles.
Yeah, welcome from me as well. Ben unfortunately couldn't make it today, but Hyper and I did the one last week out and the qualifiers. So I guess we'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess we should be. Like, we did Australia together as well, if you think about it. So
yeah, right.
I think the show is slowly becoming me and you doing this. But hopefully when Ben comes back in, fix the internet. I think that's the main bit, is his internet's just going, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I think he has some personal stuff this week to do. So yeah, maybe that's why he can't make it.
But less about us and more about the race. Let's talk about last week. Last week was in China, a place where I described it as China number 1. A little twist right at the end of the race, which really spiced things up, was the rain. Tell me your thoughts about that race.
I mean, all those guys who started obviously in the top 10 went onto softs and pitted very early. I think it was lap 3 around there. They pitted very early just to maximize their stint on the hards. Went very long in the race, but so did those guys that started out of the top 10 and went from the hards basically to the inters and did a one-stop. Logic, and I can't remember who won that race actually.
I think it was Logic was second. I think Ewan was first. Chat, give us some corrections. I love how the way we don't research this.
Uh,
I know them two. Logic and Ewan were the top two. I think there was a third one who ran a similar stint like them. I know Christo did a similar stint, but his stint did not work as well. He dropped down the field dramatically. But coming into this week, we're here in Holland or Netherlands, whichever of the two you like to describe it. I have no idea about this track, and so do you.
yeah, basically, I mean, it's a new track to the calendar. Yeah, it's rebuilt for the purpose of driving there with a Formula One car. I mean, this year we didn't come to enjoy the track there, but yeah, next year we will be watching some real Formula One cars going around there. But yeah, with a new edition, all the cards are on the table for those guys, and yeah, the cards are mixed, and basically everyone has a chance, depending on how they prepared for this race.
So, from what I can take from the track, and just from me driving it and hating it with a passion, because I'm like novice at this game, it's going to be hard to overtake on this track. A lot of winding turns, not a lot of straights. It's going to be a lot of chaining.
Yeah, strategy will be crucial today. Definitely. I mean, starting on soft tires, going onto the hards, and then it depends if you're going for an undercut or even an overcut. Like you said, many corners. Pretty nice track. Let me tell you that. But I think it's a quality track. So I think who's starting pole position has a very good chance to win this race, as there's basically just one overtaking opportunity on the circuit.
Now, one overtaking is into turn 1, which is one of the 2 DRS zones. How it's not exactly a long stretch. How powerful is this DRS zone? Have you had time to test this?
Also depends on your opponent. If he has a lot of ERS to play with, basically that's the only position on track where you apply the ERS, then I don't think that you can overtake, except you have a very strong exit out of the final turn. So that would be the only option to even have a go, I think.
All right, and have you seen any of the drivers race on this track? Because I know you're very involved with this community.
I don't think that any league is in the Netherlands yet.
So we're possibly the first one.
Yeah, I would think so. From the leagues I am commentating, that's definitely the first one, and I'm commentating 4.
Yeah, definitely more than me. I'm only doing 2 right now. But the lobby is readying up, so we should be ready to get into the race. Well, this will be qualifying first very soon. Here we go. As you can see on screen, this is the Netherlands track. It is a beautiful looking track, we have to say.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in the Netherlands. Are fairly close to where I live. It's like 30 minutes, and I'm in the Netherlands. I mean, Zandvoort is way more to the coast, so a bit more far away. But nevertheless, I mean, the beaches in the Netherlands are quite nice. And yeah.
I do apologize, stream. It seems like the capture device has just failed on me. I will try and get this fixed ASAP so you can see what's going on. Which is really unfortunate. At the moment, you've got a lovely black screen. Go on, do you want to...
Yeah, apart from that, I just wanted to point out again that we have the telemetry tool once again, which I sent you the link, I think.
Scene. I am so stupid.
Now depends on what we have to do now. I have no clue if you have to restart or...
I can do this on stream. We're gonna have
No one can hear. Oh, now they can hear me. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we do apologise for the technical difficulty. I accidentally deleted the entire scene. Audio output noise is lower than mine. There we go. I do apologise for the little technical error. For those who don't know, I basically accidentally deleted the entire scene because the capture card wasn't working. But back to what we were doing. You're right, another time back.
Yeah, coming through that first corner, going up 60, quickly up 50. So very going down the second gear there for implementation, like we saw in the hot lap just beforehand. And I think very, very good corners for this right-hander, where you can lose your car very easily. Right-hander, younger for the next one, as there are some threats from someone else. Very to find out here again. Now, what is very, very sharp right-hander, take a lot of step there, Zero does, and now the final corner basically, right-hander, and Zero actually validates the that, and it feels a bit very wrong. He did, yeah.
But getting time to come in. Logic 108.5 seconds. 18.50 and Briscoe 108.58. Very, very extra Albert looking 109. What about 108?
Yeah, 108. The chat just said that your game is way too loud.
As I said, I did kind of just. There we go. Let's bring that right the way down. I have only just reset the entire scene because I'm dumb enough to delete it. I'm currently on board with Sirius. Sirius put in a good time, and there was a question in the chat that said, "Is this a pad or steering wheel track?"
I have absolutely no clue.
I've got a feeling this could be a pad track because, much like Bahrain, it flows, so it has potential there. But at the same time, you know,
I think it's fairly equal, to be honest. I mean, Antoine and Crucito are on the wheel. Pironi, I'm not quite sure if someone in chat knows that. That would be great. I always switch Pironi and Jean Pedro up, so I have no clue. Logic is on the wheel A1, or however he's pronounced. So Eros, actually A1 is French. And Lord Eros from ERL tried to tell me the name and how to pronounce it, but I'm not quite sure if I did that correctly. I think he's in chat and he will correct me again.
You got it wrong again! But again, I can't really talk. The amount of names I have got wrong in this league. I'm currently on board with Chandler, a new racer to the league, which has, to be honest, it did bring up a little question, which I have with Anil. I'm not going to bring up the whole discussion, but there's been a lot of changes of drivers. New people I've spotted, of course, Chandler, Smasher coming in, now BMG, and I said it was Lacey. How'd you say his name again?
Who's?
BMG, the other...
Lachi.
Lachi. He's a new driver in this league. VRT Sildia?
VRT Cesala.
Cesala. XR James. Key Mirror. Manarus. All new drivers. As Chandler puts in a 108.586. Decent time, put him in third position. So there are a few new drivers in this league.
There are, yeah. I'm currently on board with Zetex, currently down in P19, who will get a bit of slipstream from Raven just up ahead, who tries to move out the way, but actually gives him a little bit more of a slipstream, like than he wants to. Now coming around these very tricky corners, loses the back end, and
Ooh.
that's his front wing gone.
Yeah, that's not going to be handy for him. It's going to be a bit of time because, of course, it takes time to change the wing, and it is simulated in the game. You can't skip it, which is very unfortunate. BDG Smasher, new guy. We said he's new on the block, which also brings up, I think the Drivers' Championship is going to be kind of thrown out the window right now, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, all those guys have the right to be here.
Of course.
From what their pace is, I think. So also, I don't think that will be the biggest problem as Smasher now comes up to the line. It goes 6th fastest with a very decent time there.
Definitely setting his mark in the SRC, not necessarily into the community, but he's set his mark, and that's strong. The question is, we know BDG Pancakes is currently, well, he's disconnected. But where would have he positioned himself?
Not quite sure, to be honest. Logic invalidated. I tried to re-invite him, but I'm not sure if he can.
I'm currently on board with Sierra. Sierra taking a lot of that curve, which actually, we did forget that corner. The kind of chicane but elongated round the second part. That's my new name for it. Pancakes has joined! He has joined. Sierra is going to come across the line. Oh, that was his outlap. It was not a...
No.
Oh, wait, no, he's at top! He got top at 108.476. That just delayed for me for some reason.
Yeah, I think there is some delay. So one got into P2, and now Eros, if you can finally correct me if that's right or wrong, as Antoine now is into P1, so very close there at the top, 44 thousandths of a second from P1 to P3, and Crisito is not that far behind.
The BMG French driver, I'm not even going to try and say his name because I don't want to offend him, but the BMG French driver coming up to the line, he's not actually going to do that one, he's going into the pits. So, who is out on a hot lap at the moment?
Cesala is now coming up to his long right-hander there.
Cesala. Why can I not find
VRT Cesala.
C for Cesala.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, getting past Antoine there.
I think that's put him a little wide actually into that corner. He's lost a couple of seconds on that. Could have got closer.
Let's see how he's doing. Nearly up by half a second, so that would put him into contention for possibly P8 around there, if he can maintain this pace up until the end of this lap. Now coming around this very banked corner, opening up the DRS. No ERS for Cesala left, and he goes actually exactly where I predicted.
Nice. That's a pretty good time. If we actually look at the board, everyone is starting to dip into the 1 minute 8. And it does make it, it's going to make it quite an interesting race with only tenths of a second dividing a lot of drivers at the moment. Chandler, I think he's on his, he's on a race pace. He put in a very positive time to make a statement in this league. He's 55 seconds at the moment. Coming around the final 2 corners. This is considered a corner, by the way. Don't know how, but it is. Coming up to the line, does he improve? He does improve at 108.57, which puts him into 4th, but it's not a major improvement.
No, it is not. Currently on board by with Key Mirror down in P13, and
oh my God.
If you take a look at how close it actually is between everyone, and Key Mirror is down in P13, and he's down by half a second. So that just shows how good it is, how good these drivers are.
Apparently, the BMG guy is Hungarian. I think
he is. Yeah.
I called him French. Oh no! I am so sorry. I was trying not to offend your name, but I just offended your nationality. Oh dear.
Key Mirror coming up to the line now, goes 8th fastest, so just sends Cesala to P9.
Oh, Logic's gone too deep. Logic went too deep onto his lap. He's lost so much time. And Pancakes has left the session again.
Yep, he did, and Logic invalidated his lap. So, not a good start for him, as Smasher also loses the car. So a lot of stuff going on. Now Lachi coming up to the same spot where Smasher just lost his car. Let's see how he can do. There was a good line through there. Now only one corner to go basically for Lachi, who hasn't set a lap time yet and will do that at the end of this lap.
Smash is going into the pits.
Running out of ERS, coming up to the line, and it will be an 8.9. So only down by half a second, but still down in P14.
It's not a bad attempt. He is within the sub 9 seconds, which is what you want to hear.
Oh, actually, Perondi went into P3 with a similar time as A1 did.
When did? Oh yeah, I think I remember when Antonio no, I've said this. My names are not coming out today. I give in. I give in today.
I'm currently on board with Maurice, a fellow TSR driver who loses the car, and with only like 4.5 minutes, at least on our screens, to go. I really think he needs to improve on that time if he wants to have any go for solid points.
An improvement for the leader. Sorry, just jump in. Improvement for the leader, Anthony. Antoine. Going 108.3. He dips into the threes there.
And now followed closely by Syrah, who just went 43 thousandths of a second behind. And now Crisito goes a bit faster than Syrah did, 38 thousandths of a second slower than Antoine. So an all-French front row lockout for now.
That's good for the French drivers. Of course, very recently we had Pierre Gasly winning his first ever race, and the first race since '96, we have to point out, as Albert invalidates his lap. As a bit quick talk about that, because I feel that it is so relevant to the F1 scene. I feel it is such an important thing to see French drivers getting back into the lead since the time of like Alain Prost, you know. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and also the fact that someone else won the race apart from Mercedes, Red Bull, and yeah, we have to mention Ferrari because they've won in recent years, but we're the only teams that won in recent years. So it's good to see someone else being up there, but if it needs a penalty for Mercedes guys, I don't think that is what Formula 1 is supposed to, and I know that many other guys think the same. No, Jonas, I won't do that.
What did Jonas ask?
Crisito in Ben's voice.
Do it.
No, I can't.
Do it.
I can't. I mean, it's
chat,
so unique.
Chat, can we just get a bully? Can we just bully Miles into doing it? Just everyone say do it.
I can't even do it. I mean, it's so unique from Ben, so I don't think I can. But yeah, quickly coming back to the action on track, it's Smasher who just started his lap and really needs to improve. Otherwise, yeah, like you mentioned before, it will be very, very hard to maintain that lead BDG has for now.
Of course, yes, BDG, as I mentioned in the little trailer, are storming ahead, with Pancakes definitely helping out for the team. But with Pancakes currently with internet problems, I believe, if we have confirmation on that, it's down to Smasher. And for Smasher, this is not living up to the BDG pace.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, touching the grass. At least I think that's what it is.
Asphalt, grass, same thing, right?
Now on the right hand side, coming out onto the second DRS straight where he touched the grass slightly. Now coming up to the line, where will he put his McLaren in? It's an 8.7, and that's only P12, so slight improvement there for Smasher, but couldn't do it.
No, it's not the strongest lap. Sorry, I just got distracted with someone asking, does anyone know how to fix a buzzing controller? No, don't smash it, Onyx. That is not how you fix a controller. I've had my controller for... God, when did the Xbox One come out?
2013, I think.
I've had... well, wait, really?
Yep.
I've had this controller for 7 years and it's still not broken on me.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I would say.
Very good thing. But so yeah, don't smash your controllers, ladies and gents. Don't be a big sweat. Where's Perondi? What's Perondi doing? Perondi is on a flying lap, I believe.
Yeah, many guys are on a flying lap now.
Ooh. Who have we got? Is Crescito? Where's Crescito at? Crescito's far back. We needed the other ones. I'm trying to see who's up next. We've got the 2 Red Bulls. Oxys is on his outlap, and both Zazala is on his outlap too, as Oxys is about to cross the start finish line and start his lap. I'm trying to see who's on there, who's close to the line. I think Sirius close. Smasher's retired.
Yeah, Smasher already did his lap. Don't let yourself be confused by the time running down, as I think it should be for everyone. But those guys still have time to set their laps, because there's this spectator glitch where the time is going down for us, but the drivers haven't even settled into their cars. So that's basically also why we had to wait a bit longer at the start of the session for the guys to come out. So they still have some time left.
Absolutely, indeed. As Oxys is coming round the final bend to put in his lap. Final lap he could do, it's no improvement. He'll stay 7th for VRT. VRT's been quite consistent, actually. I want a quick mention about that. In the midfield, they've been quite consistent.
They have been, yeah.
Kimura coming around, always invalidated his lap. That is not a good sign.
Oh.
Albert.
James lost the car on a secondary air straight. Probably touched the curb there slightly, and I think he will... Oh, Crescito's still on a flying lap. Will he grab pole?
Crescito.
It is pole position for Crescito.
Oh my god, that's only 2,000 of a second difference. Only 2,000 of a second. That's like faster than any blink anyone can do.
Yep, definitely. But very solid lap there from Crescito. Actually, on his second lap, where he did that. And James, I think, was the last one to actually set a lap time. So Maurice is the only one not being within 1 second of the pole sitter, and also, of course, Pancakes, who hasn't set a lap at all. So there you have the starting grid, and you will quickly run through it, I guess.
Yes, I can try. We've also been informed that we'll have to restart the lobby, where we'll go into the race straight afterwards, I believe.
Yeah, we have to restart the lobby, so I would quickly take a picture of how the grid looks, that I can...
You can manually put them in, can't you?
Yep.
Alright, I do
I've never done
apologise. Do apologise if I get any of the names wrong, but as you can see on screen, Crescito taking first place in qualifying, a lovely pole sitting position. Then next comes Chandler from being unknown for BDG. No, it's not BDG. Either way, Crescito in second, Ciro third, and oh god, why'd you make me do the roll call?
Antoine.
Antoine in fourth, Perondi in fifth, you in sixth, Oxy seventh, James eighth, Logic ninth, Lucia 10th, Kimura 11th, Smasher 12th, and I couldn't even get the rest of them out. But as we are about to set up the lobby again, do bear with us. As we mentioned before, it is a Pancake, basically BDG has requested that we basically get a lobby restart. So we will restart the lobby. Did you take that photo, Miles?
Yes, of course.
Of course he did. So we'll be back in a moment. I'll leave you with some lovely music. And we'll be back in the moment.
I look at people and I wonder all day, who are you and you are not the one in your way. And then I think about myself and I stayed. I'm a pretty boss, look on my shit bright waist. I'm a freak in the sheets, but I got class. I'ma grab an ass if you want it. Best you ever had, give it to you bad. Ooh. I'm the girl that they don't talk about. Quiet with a big mouth. Listen for the doubt, then call it. Make you out for what you say to me. Look at every single date. If you got what I need, then oh, I'll take you on like a big deal. Legs you can unseal. Key in ignition. Just keep me full like I had a meal once in a while. Feel alright. I know you like it. Can't fight it. I'ma let you ride the wave. I'm New York and you're LA. Come together, feel the shock waves.
welcome back to the race. I believe it's all set up. Hope you did like my little DJ set as well. I do wish I actually had something I could mix music with. I would happily teach myself to do it. Miles, are you still there?
Yes, of course I am.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you were missing out on my little
Yeah, I was, but I was I was busy doing the grid, and I hope I didn't make any mistakes. But I think everyone should be where he is. So they should be in the correct positions. It was a bit stressful, not gonna lie.
Or if you think that was stressful, I had some people turning around to me and not liking some of my songs, which was kind of sad. So we've got an emote chain going on. Give me the expression of your thoughts of the race ahead, please. Go on, give me the emoji expression. How would your expression be, Miles?
I have no clue.
Do you even look at your emojis?
Sometimes.
I feel like the type of guy who, like, actually going through some of our messages, you rarely use emojis towards me. Actually, no, I'll take that back. No, to be honest, you've used more emojis than I have. Yeah, you got...
As we're now waiting, and the countdown already went down for me, but it's going down once again, so I hope there's no issue whatsoever now.
If it breaks, can we just blame Pancakes for this?
I don't know.
He's the one with the internet problem, so...
I mean, at least there's some guys who already readied up. So,
you added the formation lap, didn't you?
Formation lap should be on, yeah. As Pancakes left the session once again, so... Yeah, I don't think we will restart again. Otherwise, O'Neill might have to tell me. As we're currently on the formation lap. Let's quickly see which tires all the guys are on. So the top 10 obviously on the soft tires, then 3 guys on the hards, Kimura, Smasher and Cesala. Then we have a bunch of medium runners, and Maurice and Pancakes, who just left the session, are there on the hard tires. So nice mix of tire choices there. As I got another message.
It's confirmed by O'Neill there will be no restart. The race is going to go ahead without Pancakes, which is going to affect the Drivers' Championship, as Pancakes is quite high up in the on the leaderboard at the moment for the standings. So that's a real bummer for him.
Yeah, definitely.
He needs to stop using the McDonald's Wi-Fi, I think it is.
Yeah, possibly. The drivers are coming around the final couple corners, as Antoine and Syrah there got disqualified for hitting each other on the formation lap, I guess. As O'Neill just asked in the chat, who is your guess for the winner of the day? So I quickly will ask you the same question. Who's your money on for today?
So Syrah and the names. Antoine is out.
No, they are on the grid. As you can see, the drivers coming around. As O'Neill just told me to re-invite. They are there, so they will have slightly colder tires than everyone else.
Okay, just so shows that disqualified on my screen.
Yeah, that's what it says when you're getting set back to the grid.
Well, they're all lined up on the grid. We just wait and see. There's the 5 lights ready to go. As for some reason my board is weird. Lights out. There's a hesitation. I believe that's a jump start by somebody.
That's Pancakes. Just ignore him. Lights coming on now. Lights out. And Crucito with a very good start. There we can see the problem for Syrah and Antoine, who were left for dead from out the start.
It seems like that Chandler has got a brilliant start onto Crucito. He has got the lead right now. Then it goes Crucito, Syrah, Antoine, Pirondi. Someone's just crashed, I believe, a bit lower down on the field. I don't know. It is Logic Down at the back, who's he crashed? He's crashed the key mirror. Both of them are going to be ruined now as we head back to the main grid, mid-pack, with focusing on Ewan, who is a bit tangled up with Smasher right behind him. It's other than that little crash, quite clean so far.
Yeah, basically, I think it was just too many cars for too little space there, and Logic and Luca were the victims, and also Key Mirror.
Smasher down the inside of Ewan. Smasher on the, I believe that's the hard tires. So definitely getting some positions early on in his long stint. He doesn't really stuck behind drivers, as he's now going to attempt to pull away from the mid-pack.
Yeah, I was just looking for some potential wing damage. So one has wing damage and will pit into the pits. So does Logic. So does Key Mirror.
Oxys is trying to make an attempt. Sorry, he was trying to go around the outside, but as he said, this is not an overtaking track, as he's now got to slot in behind Perondi.
Yeah, definitely. He has to slot in behind, and now with DRS not being activated for now, will be tough task for him to get past. But he seems to be a bit quicker for now. Is the VRT guy than the BRL?
Slowly, we're seeing Pancakes also drop down the field.
Yeah, I mean that's no real surprise. He jumped the start because it was only his ghost car that was driving, so all the guys are going through him. But gives Peroni a little bit of breathing space. But Antoine looking very feisty there behind Syrah, who actually might set up a move on Crisito, or will try to. Syrah with very good ERS management for now.
Chandler is pulling away from the pack though. He is pulling away. He's not out of DRS zone yet, so there is an opportunity for someone like Crisito to mount an attack back onto him if he can pull away from, as I said, Syrah. Midway through, oh no, that's just Pancake's ghost. Don't worry about that. I was going to get a little excited there.
Yeah, for a good reason. Because if there's an overtake happening, you want to see that. I was just having a look on the tires. So Raven is the first guy on the medium tires in P8. Smasher is the first guy on hard tires down in P9. So very solid start from both of those guys. Raven making up 6 positions and Smasher 3. And now Lasouche, the other French guy from the FCT, also up by 8 positions. So very solid start for those guys in the AlphaTauri.
A brilliant start, of course, and it's gonna be a long race. I feel a lot of these drivers, especially in the chain right now, do you have any info on some of their tire wear right now?
I will definitely have that. Not in any concern for those drivers, so they can just push flat out for now. I mean, they all started on fresh tires.
Yes, because quali, we had to reset the lobby, and which means
Correct.
that the strategies are slightly different.
I don't think they will. Maybe someone will opt for softs to mediums if they can keep their tires alive. But in general, I would say it's the softs to hards that basically every driver will pick.
Do we have a percentage on the rain while we're there? Seems we're using lovely
none.
here. With no percentage of rain. So, completely dry race, no hidden twists and turns as the top 4 slowly pack up together a bit closer. Syrah looking for an opportunity to overtake right now as he comes around the last 2 corners. He's stay really close.
Yeah, and Perondi, his teammate can't really keep up with the top 4 guys for now, so he gets a little bit of pressure from Oxus just behind.
Oh, Syrah's got a good line, sorry. Syrah's got a very good line. He's going to look to mount an overtake. He's looked slightly out to a little peak, but decides not to. Also, drawing in Chandler, he's now dropped into the train fully as Crisito has found the pace to catch up.
Yep, for certain. Looking down, down the field slightly. Syrah might set up a move there. It's very, very close to Crisito. Also, Lasush and Smasher are going at it, and Syrah is so close
He
to
is
back.
so good.
Just
One mistake and this guy's gone. But Syrah's going to dive on down the inside. Oh, what a move. On a corner we did not think was going to happen, but it doesn't work out. That is a danger zone, but better exit for Syrah, especially coming to the DRS zone. Going to mount an attack on the outside. And this could be a clean win if he can just hold it into the next corner. The elongated S section. They are side by side. And Syrah will take second place off Crescito.
very, very brave move there from Syrah. Going around, yeah, basically the outside, which turned to the inside. And now Antoine might have a go as well on Crescito. And actually, it seems like Crescito lets him go there. Looking down into P5 and P6, they are also going at it. So maybe we were mistaken that there are no overtakes happening. Because Oxtes and Perondi still going side by side. And now Oxtes with the inside line, taking 5th position. Off Perondi.
That is Chief. I think Perondi may come back in the couple of corners time if he can maintain a close distance. We saw this just out of not this corner but the next corner. You can get a beautiful overtaking opportunity here and then set yourself up perfectly by going around the outside and set yourself perfectly for DRS zone. But
let me tell you, those guys are in big trouble. They are down on ERS. They have basically nothing left, and we're only on lap 6, and it's very hard to harvest some ERS on this track. So I think that, let me quickly have a look on James just behind. He's a bit more than those guys, but if he can close the gap even more, then he might be a threat.
oh,
for
Syrah for the lead! Syrah for the lead! Syrah is going down the inside, and what a move, because he's been working his way up the field as Chandler drops down to second and is now under attack by, oh god, why do I never remember his name? Whatever, Syrah is in front and is leading this Dutch race.
Yeah, he is. I didn't catch the move there. But I mean, overtaking for the lead when coming from P3 is a very solid effort. Yeah, Crescito's just chilling behind the top 3 there, and Antoine looking very good for now. Down in P3 and might set up a move there. Going into P2 possibly, and Syrah just tries to storm away with his the lead he has now.
It is quite intense at the moment. There's only like a couple of gaps. If we just slow this down a little bit, so I know we're getting quite hyped at the moment, but there is gaps from, let's have a look, let's go down the board. Oxtes is not close enough. He's about 2 seconds behind Crescito. Move a bit further down. Lasouche,
I think.
Lasouche. I love that name. It's about a second behind his driver, which is Smasher. And then a bit further down again. Sorry, I was just checking our little chat. Cesala is 3 seconds behind Albert, and my score timing board just went. But I know that the driver behind him also was about a second and 1.3 seconds behind as well. So now we have no idea who's making overtaking moves.
I guess we have to take a look on the mini map.
Yep.
As Antoine's still looking very strong. Syrah still in P1 and trying to get away, but not being able to. Yeah, as soon as all those guys will cross the line, we will have the standings updated. Quickly have a look.
Ooh.
Maybe I can see that from the telemetry, but I can't. As Zetex left the session, quickly try to get him back into the lobby.
Pancakes is apparently back in the lobby, from what I saw. But I think he's going to get dished out the worst penalties ever, and I think that's his race completely ruined.
Yeah, and Raven caught up to the group of Oxtes, Perondi, and James, and he has definitely the most of ERS from all of those guys. So he might even be a threat for them. And with the soft tires dropping a bit, I can see him even doing an overcut.
Raven just
on
got a
those
5
guys.
second penalty though. 3
Oh,
seconds, sorry.
there
He
is
cut the
there are no
corner
penalties
a
shown.
bit too much, and he's gonna dive down
Oh.
the inside. Oh, he may get a penalty against him, but that ain't it, Chief. He's diving down the inside of James. Just before the DRS zone, he's gonna try and mount an attack. No, he won't. But that was cheeky. Hey, Raven, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, very good move there from Raven, just to trying to unsettle James and break the DRS to Pironi in front, just to
Antoine's on an attack. Antoine's going to go for the overtake on Chandler. Chandler's tyres must have dropped off. He's used them a bit too much because he's now taken second place.
Oh, as Raven goes down the inside, and that's not gonna work there, and he
Ooh.
has definitely some wing damage.
Yes, only just caught the little bump into the wall. Raven, what was a good move, is now going to cost him 3 seconds. It wasn't a stop-go penalty, though.
No.
He's got 3 seconds, so he can serve that in the pits, can't he?
No, he will have that added at the end of this race. So, but I think he has to pit at the end of this lap because the percentage on his front right end plate is on 57%.
Yeah.
So that's his front wing basically gone.
Raven's been strong in this competition. I've definitely, the more I see of him, the more kind of, he takes a lot of risk plays. And I do like that about a driver, is taking risks. Unfortunately, this one did not pay off for him.
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't have gone there for the. He was way back on James, and definitely couldn't make it. So, and now all the guys are in for their stops.
Oh, who broke the billboard? So I just see a load of billboard stuff just flying around in the pit lane. So somebody's gone into a billboard and pushed that over.
Yeah, and I'm jumping on board with Antoine, and I really want to see where he comes out. There's a Red Bull coming around, and that's Cesala, and Cesala decides to dig behind and maybe just let himself get carried by Antoine. Just staying in the DRS and try to stick with him. And was just looking behind how the others came out the pits. So Logic is on softs once again, but those soft tires are dying out now. He's under pressure from Pironi, who might have a go up the inside. No, he won't. But Pironi has to make quick work of Logic there, whose tires are, like I said, dying out now.
The people who have stopped Antoine. I actually got his name right. Are you proud of me?
Yes.
As Ferranti's making his move on Logic. So Antoine has pitted, Chandler's pitted, Crisito pitted, Oxy's pitted, Perondi pitted, Ewan pitted, Raven's pitted for Broken Wing, Kimura has pitted, Lucy
now
pitted.
we have to take a look on whether Antoine made the undercut stick on Sarah. No, he didn't, but he's definitely closer than he has been before the stops. So they're on the hard tires. They will definitely go to the end if there's no wing damage involved there. Cesala dropped off the back of Antoine, and it looks like a two-way horse race up until the end now, if nothing's happening.
Exactly. Of course, I think, well, yeah, it would be. So I just worked out where Chandler was. He's not he's too far away to mount an attack at all, because he's got Cezilla, or Caesar? Cezilla, isn't it? Cesala. I'm getting better. I'm listening. I'm getting better. I give in. His name's too difficult. He is basically sandwiched between them. That was really long. I could have just shortened that a lot more.
I mean, he's in a good position for Antoine and Sarah. So he's helping them out massively now. But taking a look further down the field, Crisito also behind Machi.
Chandler's trying to get past the driver we were talking about, but he's seriously locked up on his hard tyres, so that's not going to help him at all. As meanwhile, his teammates having a little look. He's on soft tyre, medium tyres, so he potentially can still be in the running for this. As both Lassie and Lacci and Crescito are wanting to join this battle.
Yeah, I mean, Lachi has to pit, Cesala has to pit too, but maybe Cesala's helping out his teammate who's not that far behind Crescito. Maybe trying to let him catch up. Peroni lost massively in the pits. He fell way off of Oxtis as there's a yellow flag, and I'm not quite sure who that was. If that was Raven, yeah, it might have been Raven actually.
I'm not sure, but keep talking for a second. I do apologize. My window is open.
James closing up to the back of Perondi once again, so James with a bit better US management, but nothing to do for him there. Oxys getting past Maurice, which is no surprise as Oxys has a very, very strong pace once again. Quickly have a look on the tire situation. I know you guys can't see it. Yeah, maybe you want to. I was just...
So how long would you say the softs would last? Like, how many laps would they last on this track?
I mean, we saw that like 10, 11 laps. That's basically when everyone has to pit.
So we've got Logic and Ewan still running their softs. Now Ewan, we know from last week, loves to drag out stints and then
Logic as well.
Yeah, Logic as well. Both of them, the top two from last week, dragging out their tyres as long as they can, but not really. Well, we say we're not in a position. They were in that position last week, and they pulled out something magical out of
I mean,
that.
from what I see now, I mean, as everyone just gets past Logic there, Logic, no, not Logic into the pits, but everyone into the pits. I think he will go into the mediums. Let's quickly wait and see, and actually he does. So he wants to finish his stint on the mediums, and the same goes for Logic, I think, at whenever he comes into the pits. So just basically doing the one stop, but having to pit on lap 1 is not the best thing to do. I will quickly have a look on the penalty situation.
Sierra's pretty close. I'm sorry, I just want to point that out. Sierra's got really close, and he's up to a point where he can attack. This is sector 3, a danger zone indeed, because he is looking and ready to mount an attack on what would be it's not actually the lead, it's Albert ahead of him, a car that is not pitted on his medium stint. Down the back straight we go. DRS wide open, he's going to dive to the inside, and that is third place back for Sierra.
Yeah, and very crucial for him to put a car between him and Antoine for what is coming up next, this sequence of corners. I don't think that Antoine will get past Abbott there. Oh, as Abbott actually moves up the way, does he? No, not really. He's sending it. Now they're going side by side through this long swooping right-hander, and Antoine actually gets past Ablett there, and yeah, I think Ablett just had to give in there and let Antoine get past on those definitely better tires.
Yes, indeed. But basically, it's not his battle to really fight. So why waste your tyres on a battle you're not going to do and then just fight it? As Pancakes officially retires, and unfortunately he's out of invites. We do try and have a limit to how many times you can be invited back, but internet is a bit off. Sierra, another overtake incoming. Get the Sierra overtake alarm out, because here it comes again. Down on the inside, once again in the corner we've been mentioning all this time. Clean, easy, and ooh, nearly collision from Antoine onto that car, as there's a random Pancakes is just sat in the middle of the track, but that is a ghost car.
Yeah, it is, and now I think Antoine might have to stick behind Lasouche, and maybe has to let Sierra get away there.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Antoine has been quite aggressive. He doesn't want to stay behind Lasouche for that long, so he's probably going to mount an attack on this corner, knowing him.
No, he isn't. And crucially, Lasouche also gets the DRS off of Syrah, so Antoine has to stick behind. Syrah's running very low on ERS, so is Antoine, but the only guy out of those three who doesn't is Lasouche. He is on like 60% on his battery, so maybe will be slightly harder for Antoine to get past there. No, I think he's quicker, and Lasouche knows that that's not his fight. Yeah, he lets him go there.
A nice easy overtake, but he's got to be careful of Albert, which is the driver he is up against. So definitely not to get overtaken by him. Crescito is mountainly close as there's a battle mounting up here.
Ooh.
As Oxys is looking on the inside. Crescito left the door open for him, but luckily holds his nerve and keeps his position.
Yeah, I mean that's a very, very optimistic overtaking opportunity there for Oxys, and he did good there to just stay behind and basically wait until Lachi finally pits, as now Crescito goes up the inside on the BMG guy. Will he make it stick though? Lachi also has the DRS.
All of them have DRS. This could be dangerous. 3 abreast, maybe no. But we're going into Christo's going to have the inside line. That's what I was going to say. So this corner would have been good for him. But it's now Oxys may want to try and mount an attack back and try and catch up with Crescito and stick close to him.
It's the set the fastest lap, I think. That's at least what I saw in the stream. And yes,
Oxys is going to go for the attack. He's going to dive down the inside, late braking, holds the position for the moment out the corner, and that is a position gain for Oxys as slowly Crescito and Oxys move up. But Cecilia is ahead of Cristo, so this could be some team play. Sandwich that Alfa Romeo and cause damage to Shazoo.
Yeah, I just pointed it out earlier. Cesaro doing Oxys here a massive favor in just holding those guys up. And now Crescito just sticking behind. But I think that Cesaro will soon be into the pits, as Luca just retired there for ERL in the pits. Let's see how the ERS situation is. So Cesaro does not have any DRS. But Crescito not getting that close, or getting as close as he wants to, and has to stick behind Cesala, just harvesting his ERS. Will Cesala come into the pits? No, he won't, and Oxys also has to stay behind. So, yeah, nothing happening there for now, but something's happening out in front, where Syrah just closed up to the back of Smasher, who's yet to pit. And yeah, like I said, Antoine 2 seconds down on Syrah. So it seems like that Syrah might run away with this race now. Yeah, completely alone.
Ewan pumping in a 1:11 on his medium tires, taking the fastest lap of the race. Ewan's down in 14th, so not the strongest performance, but again, we said this is strategy, so whatever Ewan's got up his sleeve, he's running on the mediums. Hopefully pulls something out, but I think he's out of the equation. He's 15 seconds.
I mean, he pitted on lap 1, so did Logic. And actually, that fastest lap everyone did there was only 10,000ths of a second faster than the hard lap from Syrah. So, and let's wait and see, 11.9. So Syrah still pushing and still going hard on those hard tires, and yeah, trying to get in front of Smasher. And now, yeah, Antoine.
Crescito. Oh my god, Crescito is just overtaken Cecilia. My apologies for butting in there. That was a critical moment because we said Cecilia was going to hold up, and he does let his teammate Oxys pass. So the race is still on between these two. We'll try and keep up to date with those two as Crescito closes a 3-second gap to Chandler. Back to what you're saying, so.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that that Antoine might be very happy that Syrah couldn't overtake Smasher on the start-finish straight, so he has the chance to catch up to Syrah, who is now looking very close once again. But yeah, we can see Antoine just crawled his way back into the into the 1 second area, so 1.7 seconds. Whereas at the start of this lap, it were 2.1, I think, and now Sarah, I think, will overtake Smasher as he dives into the pits. And yeah, now we have a race on our hands. Can Antoine catch Sarah? That will be the main question for the end of this race, and of course the race win.
Dropping a bit back on the field, James mounting attack. He's been wanting an attack for a while, getting super close. He's going to dive down the inside. Clean work, maybe a little collision there. I think there was contact.
There was definitely contact.
But James does make the move work and puts him into the points, which does help for XR.
Yeah, and Smasher also, like we saw just beforehand, Sarah overtaking him, he went onto the soft tires and will go 15 laps on those, which should be where he should be okay with. Really crucial now, who has to pit in front of him? So Lasouche has to pit, and Cesala, who's just up ahead, just up the road there. Those guys also have to pit again. So he's in net P6, and Oxus and Crescito are not that far off. So maybe Smasher is up here for some very, very solid points for BDG.
Well, we have to point out, like, of course, Lasouche is now going to the pits. I was going to say something. I've forgotten it already. Continue while my brain resets.
Yeah, Oxus still behind Crescito. I'm not quite sure if he's just harvesting his ERS. No, he is not really. Cesala just sticking behind his teammate as Lasouche also went onto the soft tires. We'll quickly have a look on how those tires for Cesala look. They are, basically. Oh, that's a big difference. I haven't seen in a long time. He's nearing on the front left tire 70%, whereas his right rear is not even on 50, which is Cesala's.
Oh, might have to keep an eye out for potential puncturing from Cesala then.
Yeah, from 75% onwards, that could be the case, and I don't think he will go that long until he has 75%. I think actually he will dive into the pits at the end of this lap and go onto the softs for the end of this race. And no, he does not. He stays out. Maybe just to give Oxus and in the same process Crescito a little bit of breathing space. Just keeping Smasher behind, who's massively faster now on those soft tires, and could be a real threat for them. So just trying to slow him down basically, and not letting him catch up that fast.
Meanwhile, we're still on board. We're still watching the Crescito Oxys fight, which has been going on since the start of the race. Them two, they've battled. They've been clean. They've been chill. But I think Crescito is slowly pulling away from this battle.
At least he's trying to. Yeah, I mean, Ox is doing solid there, just keeping within the DRS, which is very crucial just to recharge your battery a bit.
Oh, sorry, Smash is on an attack. He's on fresh soft tires. He is on at Cecilia, who does need to pick, but he's going all the way around the outside of that berm, and Cecilia does go into the pits. You said he was going to go into the pits, and now he has.
No real surprise there as Smasher gets past Cesala, diving into the pits, just getting those soft tires, and let's see where he comes out on track. It's already going, so P12 should be where he's coming out, just ahead of everyone there, but I guess we have to focus on the front where, like you said, Crescito trying to get away there slightly from Oxys, but I will keep my eye on Smasher now, who definitely has the best tires of all those guys there.
Yes, indeed. The fresh tires will be, if he can do like a qualifying pace run, he can close down and definitely get some points. But 10 laps, that is pushing it if you want to try and catch up quickly.
Yeah, and actually, as Raven now left the session, I don't. Was it his first time? I'm not quite sure. I will try to re-invite him. Smasher not making that many inroads as he wishes, probably. Also, because of the DRS, I will focus on the gap for this lap and will quickly have a look on which time they did on the last lap. So Smasher did an 11.5, whereas Oxtest did a 11.7. So only 2 tenths. Smasher crawled, back onto Oxtest there. So not making that many inroads for now.
Though we have to point out for Sasha, this is his first race in the SRC, and he's put up a pretty good. This is a very good position, 6th for BDG.
It is, yeah. I mean, but when you can see the guys up front, and you know you got the better tires now, you definitely want to try and overtake them. That's basically what he wants to do as they're coming around the final corner once again. I will quickly check the.
There's been some gains. I think it was 1.8 if I'm correct, and it's dropped to 1.6. So I think Smasher's tire 1.7 now. Ugh.
It was 11.6 for Oxtest and 11.5 for Smasher. So
I know the timing screens have fortunately gone again as we
maybe
ride on
did
board with
Raven rejoin?
Yeah, I did see that. I'm riding on board with Oxy.
Might be.
He's, as I said, this is the only real fight that's going on, so it's the only one we can talk about right now.
Yeah, that's basically true. Yeah. I will quickly go through the field as Raven just left the session again, and I think that's him gone for until the end of this race. Is there another battle going on? As Kimura actually has a puncture on the front left, and who is coming up there? Is it the leading group that's coming up there? Yeah, it is. So Kimura has to go into the pits to quickly check how his tires are looking, and there are no telemetry data. There's no telemetry data for Kimura, so he probably forgot to activate it. So did Zetex and Lucas, so very unfortunate for us. So I did not see that coming, but something I see coming actually is Ox is getting a bit closer to Crisito. Because I got a handful of invites, as Raven just messaged me that he has the FPS glitch where you basically have no FPS whatsoever. So unfortunate for him, but yeah, that's how this game unfortunately is.
Yeah, we have no power in that section to give them FPS. But I want to quickly bring your attention back to the front. I've been keeping an eye on their times. Last I checked was about 2 or 3 laps ago. It was at maybe more. Syrah was 1.8 seconds ahead of Antoine. Now 2.5 seconds from Antoine.
Yeah, well,
he's been pulling away, and the battle we were looking forward to is not going to happen as Shazoo Yuan gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Which is unfortunate, to be honest, because you want to see a front runner battle right at the end of the race.
Yeah, you definitely want, as Logic has a lot of front wing missing there on his house. As Oxys is getting very close now to the back of Crisito, so maybe we have a battle on our hands. Let's quickly have a look at the ERS. Oxys has nearly half a battery, whereas Crisito has around a third.
So
it will be spicy.
Oxys has a better chance, and he's also behind, which is probably where he's been saving it. Where he's going to attack is going to be the big question. Possibly start finish straight, maybe a little bit of deployment of ERS on that short straight. But coming around the final 3 corners, the critical corners to stay close, we're going to ride on board with Oxys as he is now only 0.5 of a second. I think Crisito got a better exit there, and may have just saved his ass down the straight. But Oxys is coming back slowly and slowly, but he's way too far away. Rosito saved himself on that lap.
Yes, as there's a change between XR Ablett and XR James. James looked very, very strong at the beginning of the race, not gonna lie, but now gets overtaken by Ablett. Maybe the strategy Ablett chose there was the better one, as he may be even able to make inroads on Perondi, where James was on the rear end for basically the whole of the first stint. So maybe Ablett now has to have a go on Perondi, but I was just looking at which team is where. So the top 6 are from different teams. Then there's Perondi. So definitely BRL with the highest points tally taking from the Netherlands, but I mean there's still 6 laps to go, so I don't want to commentators curse anything.
You've commentators cursed it now. No, I think to be honest, Perondi's in a strong position. He's got some time between him, as long as he doesn't mess up. Again, I've just probably double cursed it. We're so bad at this. We're so bad. Oxys, this first sector, we've been just watching this, haven't we, stream? I say that like you're going to respond to me. But it seems like the first 2 sectors, Oxys has the best opportunity. He gains so much. But then come that 3rd sector, that Alfa Romeo from Casito just pulls away. And there's nothing that he can do.
Yeah, I mean Crescito is an experienced driver, so he knows where he has to be fast and where Oxys can't overtake him. So that's basically what Crescito does now, just being fast where he needs to be. But will Crescito have a go for the podium positions? That is a big question.
Is he gaining? I don't think he's been slightly gaining, but I think there has also been the mindset of the defense, so he is gaining inroads. Let's check out the tyres. How long the laps? They've all been on equal lengths for the top 5. So you could say there's an opportunity, and somehow Chandler's tyres have dropped off because he is slowly making inroads to that. But I don't know. Maybe a last lap opportunity.
Probably, yeah. That could be the case. I guess we have to wait and see, but Crescito looking very strong now. I guess we have to wait and see. Ablett also making some inroads on Perondi. Smasher not being able to keep up with Oxys, which is very interesting, as Smasher definitely had the better tires and could have been able to catch up.
He had a lot fresher tyres as well, which is a shame because you want to see Smasher do well. And don't get me wrong, 6th is good, but to not be able to close down on Oxys, yes. Logic retired from the session, being down in 16th. It's not the strongest position from Logic, and he came 2nd, I believe, last week. So not the outcome he wanted.
Definitely not. Yeah, I mean, being down in P16, having to pit on lap 1. We see where A1 is, and now Logic's ghost car is still on track. I hope nobody's crashing into it. No, does not seem like it. So we're down to 15 runners, I think, as Raven left the session, but Keemer is still going at it. But being way down in P16, that's he won't be able to get any points home from the Netherlands.
Is Zeti still in?
Nope.
Oh, he's not in. Yeah, that's a ghost car then.
Zetik's already out, so I guess that's that. And yeah, up front we can see Syrah storming away with which should be the race win. 3.5 seconds is the gap now.
It's the point they crash, and what you've just said becomes completely invalid.
I don't think he will. He also is that experienced that he won't make a mistake like that. I think Sarah and Antoine are basically cruising home now. Although it doesn't look like it. I think they're not going full send. For now at least. Maybe they will for the final lap of this race to possibly get the fastest lap. But screw that, as everyone just went into the pits and will fit another set of soft tires and will go for the fastest lap.
Why not? There's no points involved for him, and he has the gap to do it and not lose a position for shame. So, put in the fastest lap. I don't think we're doing a point for fastest lap, aren't we?
For the top 10 it should be, yeah.
For top 10. Oh, so we are doing that. But, hey, steal it away from the top boys. Say who's the best. Why not, indeed? As we're coming down to, I think, very soon. Oh, we're on the second to last lap. I was trying to see where Sira was. No, he's already crossed the line.
Yeah, Cesala catched up to the back of Lachi there for P11. I mean, it's not 4 points, but still, it seems like that Cesala might have the better pace now. Will he have a go on the start-finish straight? Definitely catching, but not enough. Will he go down the inside? No, thinks better of it and stays behind Lachi. Yeah, maybe he wants to try it on another.
Stay that close. He's got an opportunity further up.
Yeah.
And that little lunge means he has to put the brakes on harder, which has lost him a little bit of time. He's still 0.3 of a second, so anything can happen between these two. Probably a better battle than up ahead, to be honest. As they come round, they're coming up to the DRS zone. Detection point is going to be after this corner as Lucci goes wide and gets a 3-second time penalty. That's critical, as now Cesala wants to stay close behind the BMG driver as they come on to the DRS straight. There's a short one. You could possibly make a move if you're bold, but no bold move. Stay super close, nearly touching the rear end of the BMG driver as we come around the last 2 corners. This is where the overtake can happen, and this is going to be an easy move. I think he's got a lot of... There you go, you can see on the driver dashboard at the green light. That's the ERS, but not close enough.
No, but who is close enough is Oxtis now on Crucito, who is running very low on ERS, but both of those guys are running low on ERS. But for Crucito, even the fuel indicator is on. As Sierra comes around the final couple corners, but we will focus on Oxtis versus Crucito for now. As they're coming up to this next DRS straight, will there be any chance for Oxtis? I don't think there will. Sierra coming around the final corner. Oh, maybe Oxtis has a go around the outside.
Outside, yeah.
Around the outside,
No
Oxtis
contact.
turns to the
And there's a
inside and
spin.
there's contact.
There's a spin, and that's taken Oxys out of the race. That's going to go down to the stewards as Sierra crosses the line, taking first place. Then it's Antoine, Chandler second, Crescito with possibly going down to the stewards is going to take fourth. Smasher gets fifth, but luckily Oxys is getting a good position in sixth. Perondi seventh. Albert and James going ahead of Albert because of time penalties. But Lasoche takes ninth because of Albert's time penalties, which will get smoothed out later on. A bit of an exciting ending, that was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Crescito looked very vulnerable there, and Oxys just had a go, and there was possibly not enough space for Oxys to make that move stick on the inside then. Maybe Crescito didn't leave the space, but like you said, that will be something the stewards will have a look on. Very unfortunate for Oxys though. He lost the position to Smasher. He won't get back, that's for sure. So yeah, very unfortunate for Oxys.
All right, chat. Driver of the day. Who do you think deserves that? Apparently to the game, Lasoche will be getting driver of the day. What is your opinion on that? As you can see, the top 3 on the podium.
It was a very exciting race. Driver of the day for me. Who will be my driver of the day? I will quickly wait until everything comes up. So Smasher went from P12 to P5, so normally you would probably say him, but I will take Syrah. as my driver of the day.
Yeah, I'd agree
As
with you. Yeah.
as some guys in the chat also are suggesting that. Cyril went from so he overtook the guys he had to overtake, which is the most crucial part in winning a race. And like we said in the beginning, this track doesn't provide the best overtaking opportunities. Cyril still made them work. So coming from P3, finishing in P1 without a penalty, and actually not being that far off of the fastest lap. In the end, only 4 tenths. That's definitely driver of the day potential.
I can agree with you with that. Solid run, but Antoine did also put up a very good fight as well, doing the overtakes he needed to as well. I'd say possibly Antoine and Syrah, definitely the two people in contention for driver of the day. Brilliant run by them. And, of course, Chandler losing out on a couple of spots where he should have been, sticking it out in third, taking third place. It was, I was going to say, it was a nice, clean race apart from the end.
Yeah, and from the start, I mean, there was the incident where 4 guys, I think, had to pit, but I just got the clip from Logic there. I haven't had a look on it, but there was an incident at the start. But apart from that, I would also say it was a fairly clean race today.
Yeah, I don't think Ben would have enjoyed this race. Definitely knowing his ways, he would have been bored midway through. But a brilliant run again for Syrah. So that's Syrah's first win in the SRC as well, may I point out.
Yes, definitely, and yeah, bouncing back that strong. Yeah, very very good showing from Syrah today, and that will definitely put BRL in a very very solid position for upcoming races.
I'm just trying to find out where we're going
Spain.
next. Where?
To Spain, so
Ooh.
Barcelona. A very interesting track, but also very little overtaking opportunities. But I think all those guys will make them work. So start finish straight, and after turn 3, possibly after turn 4. There are some where you can overtake, but I guess we have to wait and see and wait for next week to, yeah, for that question to be answered. So yeah, I guess Spain also a very very interesting track.
Absolutely, indeed. Heritage runs wild back there and also being the test track for the F1 cars in pre-testing. But that will be all for today. Miles, do you have anything last to say before we end this?
It was a pleasure once again. It was an interesting race. I didn't think that it would be that interesting, but it was a pleasure, and I can't wait for next week.
Thank you very much. And probably, again, I'd say a solid race done by the boys. And definitely welcome to Dutch Grand Prix, as we're probably one of the first leagues to put that out. So we've already got experience, and this is what you're going to expect for the other leagues. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.